Don't you think we have the prize? From the way that people keep avoiding.
Right. So, many people that know me know that I am a big musical theater buff. And a lot of you know that I also really like musical movies. And one of them happens to be Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Can you just say something real quick? The Demon Barber of Fleet
Street?
When I hear the word demon, I expect some guy who's got like weird skin and looks demonic. He just looks gothic, you know, or... Well, except in the Broadway production, he seriously looks like he was like undead.
The Undead Barber! I know a lot of you have actually seen the Broadway show and like it a lot better than the movie. Unfortunately, there are a lot of fans of the Broadway show, which I personally don't get. Even though like I said, I'm a big Broadway fan.
Yeah, I mean, the clips that you showed me last night, they weren't like, obviously it probably wasn't even the worst of the show, but it didn't seem like that bad. I mean, Angela Lansbury was annoying the crap out of me. Because her voice...
Did you come in for a pie, sir?
The way she did her accent, it reminded me so much of freaking My Fair Lady, and I hate that movie. I was just like, oh my god, just shut up! But Helena Bonham Carter doesn't irritate me.
No.
Did you come in for a pie, sir?
And I'm not a big fan of opera. I mean, I respect
I'm amazed
it.
by it, you know, because that's impressive to be able to hit your voice up there like that. But I can't go to, like, an actual show and watch the whole thing because I'd get a headache.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of, like, the sound of operatic. And it is really weird if you see the movie first and then see the Broadway show because you're so used to the way that those songs are sung in the movie. And then you see the Broadway show and everything's, like, freaking operatic. And it's just, like, to me, it doesn't sound right.
Because you're so used to the way you...
It's just... And the acting was so overdone. And what was up with Sweeney Todd's, like, double chin?
Really do it. Because
I can't do it either.
I'm like really pushing in here. He wasn't even like pushing in. He was just talking and it was like...
But there were parts where it
boinging.
seemed like he had his head down like this.
Yeah, but he was like... It was like boinging. Even when he was talking, it was moving. And I'm just like, dude! Have you ever heard of plastic surgery? God! Oh, I just remembered the one part about Sweeney that really, like, when you were talking about how the acting was so overdone, the one part that I wanted to quote was actually at the beginning with the whole No Place Like London. And, oh my god, he's like...
You are young.
You are young! And just like...
Lord has been kind to you.
And it's like, dude, I know you're supposed to articulate on stage, but holy crap!
And then the way Angela Lansbury, like, says her first line, a customer.
A customer.
Almost seemed like the words weren't coming out of her mouth, like she was lipping the words, like, customer. And it's like, what the fuck was that?
And then, of course, her hair. She looked like something from freaking Sailor Moon. And I would know because I watched that show religiously as a kid.
And Anthony's comb over.
It did look kind of like Donald Trump, but to me, he looked like Ken. He did!
I don't know about you, but I think the kid in the movie was more welcoming than the guy in the musical because, like, I would take this sweet, little guy over this guy who's dressed in the sailor outfit that reminds me of Pot Pie with the comb over and is trying to be all macho, but, I mean, no. 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 Let's not forget Lucy's first scene.
How'd you look a little muff, dear? A little jig, a little bounce around the bush. Wouldn't you like to push me parsley? It looks to me, dear, like you've got plenty there to push.
She showed it to me because she's like, I want to get a reaction of your face, and the whole time I'm just sitting there like... Okay. Are we supposed to be, like, creeped out or turned on or
just think it was funny? Her reaction made the scene funny because it's like, when I first saw it, I was like, what? Oh my.
Who knew that Sweeney's wife was so freaking dirty and horny? Oh my god. When they did the flashbacks and everything, it was like...
And she wasn't even holding the baby. She goes to pick up the baby.
The air. The freaking air.
And it's like, come on. In Wicked, they had a freaking green baby doll to be baby Elphaba.
I have freaking baby dolls. I'll loan you one.
Is it just me, or do the characters seem better when they're young and attractive? I mean, Johnny Depp actually makes Sweeney Todd seem kind of hot.
That's Hollywood's approach and everything. But the thing is people forget that Johnny is actually in his 50s now. Yeah.
Wow.
And Helena Bonham Carter, well, I know she's not in her 20s, that's for sure.
No, but she does have, like, this baby face.
Is that just disgusting? You have to contain it.
She looks
very
young.
girly quality to her.
And she made Mrs. Lovett just really funny, kind of cute, and yet
also,
creepy all at the same time.
And also kind of lovable because you actually, like, feel bad when she dies at the end, you know? And you almost want her to be able to get Sweeney Todd, even though you're also rooting for Sweeney Todd to be able to find his wife and his daughter, you know?
Yeah.
So
and it's like, it's the whole story with both is kind of this weird love story in a way. And
my friends, my clever friends,
for you I did.
Another thing about the musical that annoyed the fuck out of me is that every time Sweeney killed somebody, there'd be this long one note. You just want to plug your ears every time.
And I can't even imagine, like, actually being there, sitting there, having to hear it in person.
Oh, God. Yeah, my mom and her boyfriend went to actually see the play, and they left early. I think they left during intermission. They said it was just so bad that they didn't even stay to see the whole freaking show, which those tickets are not cheap.
Yeah.
So it must have been very, very bad, because my mom and I sat through Cats. And neither of us like Cats, but we sat through the whole fucking thing. It seems like the older musicals are not, even though a lot of people really love them, to me, I got into musicals when I started to see the newer ones. Is, you know, like Legally Blonde, Wicked, Color Purple, Lion King. Lion King is what set me off because that was the first show I've ever seen. And it was beyond amazing. And then I went on to see those other shows I just mentioned, and every one of them blew me away. But then I see a show called Urinetown, and then I see Cats, and I'm just like, what? And I even didn't really like My Fair Lady that much. I kind of liked the movie a little bit better. Probably because it wasn't so long, and it was easier to understand, I guess, because the play was it was harder to understand.
Yeah, I absolutely despise that show.
Mm-hmm. All I can see is black. All I can see is black.
I love that character's name, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Ah!
That has Helena Bonham Carter written all over it.
Just like Mrs. Lovett. I mean, she owns that character.
Oh my god, yeah.
Times is hard. Times is hard.
And we should also mention that it's nothing against Angela Lansbury because we do actually like Angela Lansbury.
Mrs. Potts!
Come on. And I don't think she's ever seen it, but she was also in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Which
I have not seen it, and if I have, I was probably really little.
So it's not like we don't like Angela Lansbury. It's just we don't like Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Lovett. Because personally, since, you know, I've known her mostly from Disney and that, and she had a show, Murder, She Wrote. But
She was in that?
yeah, she was the main character of that. So I'm used to seeing this sweet lady, this just adorable lady.
Like this grandmother
kind of
type,
thing. Yeah. And then
even when she was younger, she was still like, you know, this sweet
Yeah,
You know?
and you just, when you think of Angela Lansbury, you just don't think of Mrs. Lovett.
You don't. You think Mrs. Potts?
Yeah.
Or the grandmother from Anastasia.
Yeah, oh, that too, I forgot.
I have to say, if you watch the movie and watch the musical, of course, because it's a movie, it's very gory. Well, I wouldn't consider it as that gory because I watch horror movies a lot, especially during Halloween time.
I didn't either because I was sitting there going, blood is not that red. It looks like paint. How is this gory?
I have to say that for those who really don't realize this, that say that the musical is better and that the movie is nothing like it. Well, yes, it is totally different, but they kept a lot of the same dialogue. And the guy that wrote the music for the Broadway production wrote the music for the movie, which is kind of weird because a lot of the lyrics in some of the songs in the movie are totally different from the one in the Broadway show. But it's by the same person, so you really cannot complain about that.
Seriously.
And of course, because it's a movie, they do cut a lot of the songs short. Not all of them, but most of them they do.
I mean, this isn't like back in the day where the freaking Sound of Music is like 2-3 hours long and Fiddler on the Roof 2-3 hours long.
Another character that was completely different from the movie was Toby. Movie, he's this sweet, innocent little boy. In the play, he's this 20 or 21-year-old who I guess thinks he's a kid and walks with a limp and is not cute like he is in the movie. Although they did get a really tiny little guy to play him, but still it's like it was obvious that he wasn't a kid. Supposed to be a kid. But I do hear that sometimes they do have kids play the part, but not in the original Broadway cast they didn't, and I hated it.
And then freaking Joanna.
And her bad wig!
The hairstyle and the bonnet were appropriate for the era that it was supposed to take place in, because it says London 1846. But she just looked awful.
She was supposed to be 15, but she looked like she was like 30s.
Yeah.
And then her facial expressions. Okay, I know you have mental issues because you're taken away as a baby from your parents and living with this, kidnapped and closed your entire life and abused, and you didn't see in the play that she was actually like sexually abused too.
Oh, fun.
Lovely stuff.
So nice and warm and fuzzy.
It's not a very happy story, obviously, and
Well, no. It's Tim Burton. There's seldom happy stories with Tim Burton.
And one of my friends actually says that he doesn't like the movie because it was Tim Burton, and he kind of blames him for the story. And it's like I keep on reminding him, it's not Tim Burton's fault. He didn't write the freaking story. The story was already like that. And this was before I saw the play, so I'm just I already knew.
My only real issue with the movie is that every time they would pan out from the window or whatever, and all of a sudden you'd see the city, it was so obviously CG. And I'm like, oh, come on, Tim Burton, you didn't have to use...
That wasn't my problem. My problem was the blood, and there were parts where they talked so freaking quietly that it was hard to understand what they're saying. And actually, that's watching the play, at least you can understand everything that they're saying.
Yeah, see, I use subtitles because I'm half deaf.
And then getting a close-up of Helena's boobs.
Yeah, you saw it in theaters, right? Yeah, I saw it in theaters before she did, and so I was sitting there with this big, 30-foot screen, it's huge. And all of a sudden, because she's kneeling down in front of Sweeney and looking up at him, and all you see
the
is,
angle that they did it at is, her head, and then...
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there I feel like I'm in her cleavage right now. And so I called Kim, and I'm like, dude, will you watch it? I'm not going to tell you, everything that happens and everything, but beware, because there's a spot where it just kind of feels like you're in Helena's boobs. So when she went to see it, she's like, Oh my god! Damn!
And it's like you watch it at home and it's obviously not that bad, but you watch it in theaters and you're like...
But yeah, in theaters it's just like, holy crap!
That's what you get when the freaking director is your husband.
Actually, I don't think they're married. I think they're just together.
I think they're married.
The reason why the CG bothered me is because I know Tim Burton could have done, like, a really awesome set. I mean, just look at what he did.
Well, some of it, a lot of it was a set, though, and it
I know,
was
but
really
the what I'm talking about...
Like when he says, "My arm is complete again," and it pans out.
Yeah, it pans out, and you see the whole city, and you can tell that it's CG. And it's like, okay, I know I'm comparing him to a completely different director, but freaking Rob Marshall, who directed the musical Chicago movie adaptation and also Memoirs of a Geisha, in Memoirs of a Geisha, they had to create like this small little village where the main character would live, you know, and they actually built the fucking thing. I know Tim Burton could have done better, you know? That's why it's like... Plus, it's not so much what Tim Burton did, it's the fact that it seems like so many people are relying on computers now to do most of the work.
That is true. And so long story short, the movie wins, by far.
Yeah.
Better acting, Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Alan Rickman, and... I don't know who the actor's name is, but the other guy from Harry Potter.
He played Peter Pettigrew in Harry Potter.
Scabbers! He's all of a sudden popping out in, like, everything lately.
Oh no, he was even in Alice in Wonderland.
And it's funny
See if you can figure out which character he was.
Because you can't recognize his voice.
At all.
I have sailed the world, beheld its wonders, through the Dardanelles to the mountains of Peru, but there's no place like London. No, there's no place like London.
Oh, pity a woman alone.
Oh, I forgot one thing. By the Sea is hilarious in the movie. In the play, it's not funny at all.
Is it supposed to be?
I don't know. I can't tell what in the play what's supposed to be funny and what's not, really. Like the whole thing with Lucy, I'm like, is this supposed to be funny or what is it supposed to be? Really? Seriously.
Or disturbing?
Although at the end, because there's an extra, like, 2 songs at the end, and the last song, like, everybody that was killed gets up and starts singing, and oh my god, Lucy looks so fucking scary at the end. Like, when he's holding her during his last song, I thought it was fake, and then she gets up, because she's still laying on the floor, and she gets up, and I'm like, like, the scariest part of the play, I'm like, and that was the very end, too. Although Sweeney and everybody else didn't look scary, but she looked fucking scary as hell. I think that concludes our, little review. Again, the movie wins by far. Hope you enjoy.
Kimberly gives it 2 thumbs up.
No, I give it 4 thumbs up.
Oh my.
Although I only have 2.
All right.
Bye!
I know nobody cares to take them. I should know. I make them that good now.
Hi, here I am.
A little bit more.
I think... Hi! It's Lucy!
Hallelujah!
It's Lucy! Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
No, I'm not conceited at all. No. I just got like this princessy thing going on back here with the curtains and junk.